This is a fun car to drive. It's big, it's powerful, and apparently it could seat up to 7 people. This is the 2020 Acura MDX A-Spec. This thing's powered by a 3.5-liter V6, making 290 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. It also sounds really sweet when you step on it. This has a nice growl. I mean, that sound might be faked in, but who really cares? In terms of ride and handling, this is also awesome. This thing has the sh-awd badge on the back, which stands for Super Handling All-Wheel Drive. And that's basically a front-wheel drive based all-wheel drive system, but it also has torque vectoring, which means that it could send varying levels of torque to the rear wheels, which means that this feels more like a sportier car compared to other 3-row SUVs. Seriously, take this thing for a test drive, and don't just test drive this on the main route where there's a lot of traffic lights and stop and go traffic. Take this on a back road in the twisties and really feel how this all-wheel drive differs compared to other 3-row SUVs. As for mileage, this thing's rated at 19 city, 25 highway, and 21 combined. That's not the best, but it's to be expected for a 4,400 pound car with a V6 of this size. There is a hybrid version available for the Acura MDX, and that's expected at 27 miles per gallon combined. So a little bit better, and that one also has more power. Looking around the exterior, the MDX has a powerful presence. The headlights are the centerpiece of the Acura MDX's face. They call it the Jewel Eye LED, and the headlights are impressive to look at, and it is seriously bright at night. The MDX that I'm sitting in has the A-Spec package, and it's purely an appearance package. So for the outside, you'll see the black accents like the black spoiler, the black window trim, and also a blacked out front fascia. You'll also get the 20-inch Gray Shark wheels, which complements the Apex blue color pretty nicely. And around back, you'll get very large exhaust tips. Purely visual, but it completes the look of a sporty 3-row SUV. As for the interior, this is where the Acura MDX starts to disappoint. They call the Acura MDX a luxury midsize SUV, but to me, this feels more like a nice Honda rather than a luxury car. The leather seats feel very nice, but the rest of the interior doesn't give off the same luxurious feeling. The dash is very plain, and the steering wheel isn't very nice to hold, and there's plenty of plastics to be found. I also dislike the double screen setup that they have here. One is a touchscreen, and the other one isn't. This one shows all of your radio controls and also all of your HVAC controls. There's heated and ventilated seat control buttons on here at all times. And the screen on the top, this displays all of your trip information and all of your vehicle settings. To control that screen, you use the set of buttons down here, and there's also a big directional pad that controls your input. Overall, the infotainment input and layout is not very visually appealing. The RDX, which is the smaller SUV, has a more modern interior design language. Moving on to the steering wheel, despite the surfaces feeling a bit plain, I do like the design a lot. The left-hand side are your stereo controls, and on the right-hand side are your instrument cluster controls. There's also paddle shifters back here to control the 9-speed automatic transmission. And moving on down here, instead of a traditional shifter, you find a set of buttons that controls the 9-speed automatic transmission. So you have park, reverse, normal, drive, your dynamic mode button, which allows you to go into sport mode, and also your traction control button. And behind the set of buttons, you have a generous center armrest cubbyhole, which also has plenty of USB connections as well. Powerful enough to power your iPad. Moving to the second row, I like the bench seating on here. With the A-Spec package, you get the same red leather and black Alcantara treatment back here as well. Getting back to the third row isn't too tough of a challenge. There's a button on the shoulder of each seat, and also at the bottom, that'll slide the seat forward. And just like all 3-row SUVs, the third row is on top of the rear axle, so legroom isn't so great, but very reasonable for kids. In the meantime, the third row isn't upholstered in the same red and black configuration, but it does have a leather-like seating surface, which feels pretty decent. And when you don't need the cargo space, instead, the third row and second row can fold flat. 50-50 for the third row and 60-40 for the second. When it's all folded flat like this, you'll have over 68 cubic feet of cargo space behind the first row, which is normal for a big SUV like this. And out back, you have a powered liftgate and some clever use of partitions and storage spaces back here. As for safety, this Acura MDX is packed to the brim with a lot of safety features. They call it Acura Watch, which means that it has collision mitigation braking system, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and also road departure mitigation system. This A-Spec package also comes with blind spot monitoring system and rear cross traffic alert. At $56,000, is the Acura worth it? Well, this is a luxury branded SUV, and if you're shopping across other luxury brands, this is aggressively priced. But I think there's a very good reason for that, and if you just look inside the interior, I feel like they've cut some corners here and there. But interior aside, the driving dynamics of this thing is delightful. Seriously, take it out for a test drive and drive it through some back roads and really feel the all-wheel drive system and the powerful V6 engine up front. The ride-in handling is also very good for a very large vehicle like this. So let me wrap it up right there. I want to thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. If you learned something, please consider hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe, and also hitting that notification bell so that you can get notified anytime we make a new video. I'll wrap it up right there. This has been the 2020 Acura MDX A-Spec. My name is Hanson, and I'll see you next time.